Roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Here.
Councilmember Calangelo.
Here.
Councilmember Erin Delaney.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Here.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Here.
Okay, we have 5 ayes, which means a quorum is present for this regular meeting of the Garfield City Council, which is being held today, which is Tuesday, March the 13th, 2018. This regular meeting is being held in accordance with provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act. Adequate notice has been provided by mail, facsimile, and email to the official city newspapers and to other interested parties, and by posting the meeting notice on the bulletin boards in City Hall. If everyone please rise, we'd like to begin the flag salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father and Almighty God, bless the City Council and all their works, that they may be useful to your people whom they serve, and we ask this in your name.
Amen.
Is there a motion to approve the reports of the cabinet?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, motion by Councilmember Aloya, seconded by Councilmember Rigoloso. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calangelo.
Yes.
Councilmember Erin Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso. Okay, we have 5 ayes. Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, all the resolutions numbered 81, 2, and including number 96 have 5 signatures on them. So if there's no objection, I will take one roll call vote on all those resolutions. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calangelo.
Aye.
Councilmember Erin Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. We have resolution authorizing the award of the tree planting and maintenance plan project to Louis Barbato Landscaping Incorporated in the amount of $244,565.00. The resolution is offered by council members Erin Delaney, Joseph Delaney, and Rigoloso. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calangelo.
I'm sorry, which?
It's the award of the contract to Louis Barbato Landscaping for the tree planting.
I vote aye.
Councilmember Erin Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The next resolution is one appointing Robert A. Ferraro Esquire as city attorney, signed by the entire city council. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calangelo.
Aye.
Councilmember Erin Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Great to have you back, Bob. I vote aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. We have a resolution which is the 2018 temporary budget appropriations. It is signed by council members Erin Delaney, Joseph Delaney, and Rigoloso. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calangelo.
I'm sorry, again, which?
This is the resolution for the 2018 temporary budget.
Temporary budget, yes.
Councilmember Erin Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The next resolution is held. Okay, I'm sorry, I skipped that one. Right, now, well, no, actually, we're on the 2018 municipal budget. Okay, do you want to say anything, you just want me, okay. We have the introduction of the 2018 municipal budget. The budget is introduced by the entire city council. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calangelo.
Yes, on this budget, I had hoped that we maybe could come in flat, and Mr. Dutch had justified his numbers in explaining certain items. But with this, we did have our auditor explain a lot of items. And one thing that stands out in my mind is that we have growth of ratables to the tune of $336,000 in ratables, and I think that's, it's really due to all of our redevelopment over the years. So the redevelopment still keeps paying in dividends to the city. The numbers are strong. We have as reserves close to 8.5 with all our accounts, 8.5 million, that is. So we are strong financially. This is a budget that I believe has a $49 tax implication on a average property per year. And so at this time, I'm going to vote aye, and hopefully we'll be able to come in stronger possibly next year. Aye is my vote.
Councilmember Arundellini.
Yes, as always, I was very impressed with the proposal tonight given by our CFO, auditor, and city manager. As Mr. Calendrillo said, $40 increase is less than $1 a week, and I don't think that we could be in any better financial standing. So thank you. I'm sorry, for all of your hard work. I vote aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Yeah, again, this is just the introduction of the budget. I would love to come in flat or less, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta, you do what you have to do. We have money that's going to make our library a better building, where we're putting money into our rec center. We're putting more money into events in the city. So we're not just staying the same, we're moving forward with bigger and better things. And that's what I want to see in the city. I hate to see stagnatism. You know, I love to move forward with bigger and better things, and that's what we're doing here. You know, again, it's less than $1 a week, and then the bond rating that we have right now is tremendous. I'm sure there's many cities, towns in the state would love to have the bond rating that we have, and the only reason why we have that is because of proper spending. You know, so this is a fantastic budget, I believe, and you know, let's just keep continuing the good work. Let's keep moving forward. Let's bring in this redevelopment that's bringing in more ratables. You know, I'm all for redevelopment throughout the city. And that right there, the Councilman Calendrillo just said, you know, redevelopment is what's keeping our head afloat right now in Garfield. Let's not stop. I vote aye. Thank you, Tom Dieter. That Dieter's not here, and Mr. Loy Rigatano. I vote aye. Mayor
Rigoloso.
Okay, listen, anytime we get it under 3%, less than $1 a day, I'm excited about this.
$1 a week.
$1 a week. That's right, I'm sorry, $1 a week. I'm optimistic about our future in Garfield. The money that we made, the revenue that we made last year, we're putting it back into Garfield. Any good businesses that I always know about, the money you make, you can put back into your business to make your business better. I mean, we're putting it into the rec, the library, like Joe said, the firehouse, you know, city events going on. You know, it's an exciting time to be in Garfield. You know, we're looking into redevelopment, and, you know, I'm just going to echo what Deputy Mayor said, the ratables coming in there. We're looking to move Garfield forward, and I'm excited about the next year and a half to 2 years here. Thank you. I say aye.
Okay, 5 ayes, the budget is introduced. Next resolution is one authorizing the reappropriation of certain capital fund reserve balances, signed by the entire City Council. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Arundellini.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. Bills and claims, Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Okay, resolved by the City Council of the City of Garfield that the following bills, number 2085 to 2086, covering trust other and dog trust fund totaling $41,488.47, and the current fund reserve totaling $125,967.86, and the current fund totaling $153,415.30, and the water fund current totaling $101,125.52, and the general capital fund totaling $856,585.21, and the water capital fund totaling $3,225.00 per attached computer list, be ordered paid, and the proper officers are hereby authorized to issue checks for same, provided there are funds in the respective appropriations. Be it further resolved that the action of the mayor, city clerk, and city treasurer in issuing checks in payment on a ratification list, which includes 23 items prior to the meeting, be ratified. Bills and claims resolution is signed by the entire city council. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Arundellini.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. Bills and claims are approved. Yes, sir.
The cap bank resolution,
It's an ordinance, it's coming up.
okay?
That's why it's with the ordinances.
All right, and we did the resolution that canceled certain capital reserves, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And do we have a resolution on animal control? Did we do that?
Yes, it's right there.
Oh, but we didn't,
Good job, Tom.
I know it was the last minute, so.
okay. We need a motion to revert back to the regular order of business.
Motion made.
Second.
Okay, motion by Councilmember Aloy, seconded by Mayor Rigoloso. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloy.
Aye.
Calendrillo.
Yes,
Yes.
basically, this is a resolution suspending...
This is just a motion, right?
Yeah, this is just a motion.
Motion. we're voting
Oh,
on,
read
not
the
the
resolution. To open back...
Yeah, to go back to
revert
resolutions.
I vote aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney. Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, now we're back in resolutions. We have a resolution rescinding Resolution Number 17-401, titled Resolution Appointing Animal Control Officer for the City of Garfield. It reads as follows: whereas the Mayor and Council of the City of Garfield believe that it is in the best interest of the city to rescind Resolution Number 17-401, entitled Resolution Appointing Animal Control Officer for the City of Garfield. Now therefore, be it resolved, Resolution Number 17-401, entitled Resolution Appointing Animal Control Officer for the City of Garfield, is hereby rescinded pending further review. The resolution is signed by Council Members Louis Aloya, Frank Calendrillo, Aaron Delaney, and Richard Rigoloso. Roll call? Okay, on the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney.
Yes, I'm fully support of this resolution, but I did want to make a few statements and clarify some things. So I would just like to ask for your patience. It is a little bit lengthy. I wanted to address how the hiring of this individual came about, as countless rumors are being spread specifically about me personally and this contract. In my first few months on the council, actually, I just looked back, and it was in January, I had heard and seen countless complaints about our former ACO, as did other members, which is what led us to begin an RFQ process for new services. I'm not going to speak about what those complaints are, because I, for one, am not in favor of tarnishing anyone's name or reputation, so if you're interested, you're more than welcome to obtain the documents from the clerk's office. But these complaints, in turn, led our city manager to ask the women in his office to do some research on some animal control options, because the one that we had was not working out. I did not personally do any advocating for, nor did I seek a specific individual or organization's services. In an RFQ process, it is perfectly acceptable to award a contract to the more qualified candidate. When we awarded this individual the contract, council members, including myself, said that if this contract did not work out, we would again look at other options. I do not have an allegiance to this individual. My allegiance is to all of the residents of Garfield, not just one specific person or one specific group, which is why I always try to do my due diligence. I even went to his shelter on my own personal time, which I mentioned at previous council meetings. I made multiple phone calls. He seemed to have valid answers to the concerns that were raised. I think what's going on is unfortunate. But with that being said, he is also a resident and employed by Hudson County municipalities, and it just so happens that I'm being personally attacked because I too work in Hudson County. I work in Secaucus. I work for a substance abuse prevention nonprofit agency. I've worked in this field for over 6 years already. My paychecks do not come from Hudson County. I started at Partners in Prevention in the summer of 2016 before even being elected. And I did the same thing here in Bergen County. I personally decided that it would be best to work in a county where no one knew me. I'm still a nobody in Hudson County. I wanted my work to be recognized by my own merit. And I like it that way. I worked hard in high school to get a scholarship to put myself through college. I worked multiple jobs to earn my master's, and I worked tirelessly for my organization and for this city. I think it's an absolute disgrace that people would have the audacity to say that he was hired so that I could advance in my career, that he was hired so that I could get my hands greased, that he was hired because of an intimate relationship that I had with him, and I think they should all be ashamed of themselves, and I wanted to put it on public record here this evening. I've seen the threats and accusations that have been circulated, and I just, again, want to put it on public record and say that I welcome any investigation, because I assure you, I was not hired to a Hudson County no-show job by Nick Sacco, which has been claimed, a man that I've never met or spoken to in my entire life. I think this is the most laughable, disgraceful thing that anyone could ever say about me, because that I have a no-show job, because my entire life revolves around the work that I do and helping anyone and everyone that I could here in Garfield and in Hudson County. So with that, I vote aye. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor,
Tom, just to comment with regard to what was just said, does the city finance the golf group in any way?
Have we?
All right, now, I would like to see it, what we finance them, how much we finance, because what I've read on their page, I believe for us to support a group like that, it is totally wrong with the support for what Garfield represents. That there's false rumors put on that page, and if that's both combined with the golf group, I think we should definitely look into what we give them, and let them actually even be a recognizable organization in our city. So I definitely want to look into that.
Okay.
All right?
Absolutely. I'll have that for the next meeting.
With that, I vote aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Yeah, before I vote, I'd just like to say, Councilwoman Delaney, I know she did her due diligence, we did our due diligence, we hired someone on his merit, but it didn't work out. If you don't like a movie, you leave. If it's not working out, it's time to move on. It's not working out, there's a lot of negative publicity in Garfield. I'd be a hypocrite if I was to say, how I want better quality of life in Garfield, and how I want to bring better values into Garfield, and yet there's a lot of negativity coming from this issue. And so with that said, I vote aye.
Okay, we have we have 5 ayes, the resolution is adopted. At this time, we should have a resolution to revert back to the regular order of business.
Motion made.
Second.
Okay, motion by Councilmember Aloya, seconded by Councilmember Aaron Delaney. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calangillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney.
I'm sorry, what is this for?
It's to return to the regular order of business.
Oh, yes, aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Second.
Mayor Rigoloso. Okay, we have 5 ayes. Ordinances, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Okay, the following entitled ordinance was introduced at a meeting held on February 27th, 2018. It was duly published. Copy was posted on the bulletin boards at City Hall. Copies were made available to the general public, and having complied with the law, this ordinance was not read in full, and the City Council can now proceed with the public hearing and final passage. Bond ordinance to authorize the installation of playground equipment at 20th Century Field in, by, and for the City of Garfield in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $130,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. We have a public hearing at this time, Mr. Mayor.
For this ordinance and this ordinance and only, would anybody like to come on up? I see no hands.
Okay, on second reading, on the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calangillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso. Okay, we have 5 ayes, the ordinance is adopted. The following entitled ordinance was introduced at a meeting held on February 27th, 2018. It was duly published. Copies were posted on the bulletin boards in City Hall. Copies were made available to the general public, and having complied with the law, this ordinance was not read in full, and the City Council can now proceed with the public hearing and final passage. Bond ordinance to authorize the installation of an elevator at the Garfield Public Library in, by, and for the City of Garfield in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $320,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. Once again, public hearing.
Yes. Sorry, Joe. For this ordinance and this ordinance only, would anybody like to come up? I see no hands.
Okay, on second reading, final adoption. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Arundellini.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph
Now,
Delaney.
the majority of this money is coming from a community block grant, correct, Tom, from the county of Bergen?
We are getting $215,000 from community development towards the elevator.
And that's a committee that myself and city manager Tom Dutch is on, and believe me when I tell you, Tom Dutch gets the most out of any other town that belongs on that committee, so I vote aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
I sit on the board of the library. I know Sunny's here, she sits on the board as well, and we're excited that this is finally getting done. I think they need that elevator. I vote aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes, the ordinance is adopted. On introduction, we have City of Garfield, Bergen County, New Jersey, calendar year 2018, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank, NJSA 48:4-45.14. This ordinance on first reading is introduced by Councilmembers Aloya, Calendrillo, Arundellini, Joseph Delaney, and Rigoloso. On the roll call on first reading, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo.
Yes.
Councilmember Arundellini.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. On first reading, we have, this is next?
According to this, the food handlers,
Yeah, that's what we got, I think.
food handling establishments is after that.
The 150.
This is 151.
It says food handlers.
Right. So this would be it. Or this
Food
would be it.
handlers, that one.
Okay. Okay, on first reading, an ordinance to amend and revise ordinance number, Chapter 150 of the City Code of the City of Garfield entitled Food Handlers Mobile. The ordinance is introduced by council members Calendrillo, Arundellini, Joseph Delaney, and Rigoloso. On the roll call on first reading, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo.
Yes.
Councilmember Arundellini.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Tom, before I vote, tomorrow, can we send this ordinance over to the Board of Health and to the Garfield Police? Make sure that everything's, I don't know if
Sure.
they've seen it yet, but just in case they haven't, just where they could see it before we
Will do.
adopt it. I vote aye.
Mayor Rigoloso. Okay, we have 5 ayes. The ordinance passes on introduction. Before I go any further, we got this one.
The next one is food handling establishments.
Right, yeah, exactly. Okay, just making sure. Okay, on introduction, an ordinance to amend and revise ordinance number, Chapter 151 of the City Code of the City of Garfield entitled Food Handling Establishments. This ordinance is introduced by council members Arundellini, Joseph Delaney, Aloya, and Rigoloso. On the roll call on first reading, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo.
Yes, just so I'm not mistaken, this would be the ordinance that would allow a food truck to be established on a commercial lot in a B1 zone.
Yes.
Okay. My position has been clear throughout the history of my being a council member. I did go for increasing on the last ordinance, one vehicle, but my concern here is that when we have a lot of store vacancies, we've had store vacancies for quite some time, on Passaic Street, Belmont Avenue, we have food establishments that have just recently opened up, and to have a food truck be able to park on a parcel of land, I just can't support that at this time. I think we owe it to the brick and mortar establishments who have made major investments in this town. They have costs that can't compete with just a truck that's going to be mobilized and stationary in one location. So with that, at this time, I have to vote no.
Councilmember Arundellini.
Yeah, I think a whole part of this process with all of the food truck ordinances, I think it was key that we involved our chief of police, our health department, just to make sure what we take on, they feel they could manage and enforce. It's been a long process, as I'm sure most of you who have been to a lot of meetings have noticed. So I'm glad it's kind of finally being voted on tonight, and my position is I vote aye. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Like I said in the beginning of the meeting, I don't like to be stagnant. I like to keep all options open, and this is just another option that we're trying to open up for maybe more businesses, not to hurt anybody else, but to try to improve the city, and that's it. I vote aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Yeah, Councilman Calangelo was talking about the brick and mortar, but this is a it's a food truck sitting on a parcel of land that's an empty lot, or looking for an empty lot.
Right.
If the owner wants to rent out the empty lot to these individuals, or this individual, whoever wants it, they have the right. If they decide to renovate, develop their lot, this individual has to leave and find another lot. So it's not like, they're stationed there for life. It's just take these empty lots and turn them into something. It's about developing our neighborhood. So I vote aye.
Okay, we have 4 ayes and 1 nay. The ordinance passes on first reading. Next one is this one?
This one, violations and penalties.
Right. On introduction, for an ordinance to amend Chapter 164-2 of the City Code of the City of Garfield entitled Violations and Penalties. This ordinance is introduced by council members Aaron Delaney, Joseph Delaney, Aloya, and Rigoloso. On the roll call on first reading, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calangelo.
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph
All right,
Delaney.
this ordinance, so the public could, really, this is for the garbage. All right, this is just a change where the person doesn't have to come to court for a garbage.
First offense.
First offense.
For putting out the garbage early. So we're just trying to make that ordinance a little bit better, so I vote aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Like our city attorney said, that it's, in past, if you got a ticket for, quality of life, the garbage being out too early, you had to come to court, you're being forced to come to court. We just wanted to clear it up that, if you want to pay the ticket, you don't need to come to court. But second offense, you will need to come to court. It's about our quality of life in Garfield. I vote aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The ordinance passes on introduction. Also on introduction, first reading, an ordinance to amend and revise Chapter 341-19 of the City Code of the City of Garfield entitled Permitted Uses in B1 Districts. This ordinance is introduced by council members Aaron Delaney, Joseph Delaney, and Rigoloso. On the roll call on first reading, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calangelo.
No.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 4 ayes, 1 nay. The ordinance passes on introduction. And finally, we have an ordinance to amend and revise Chapter 310 of the City Code of the City of Garfield entitled Tow Trucks. It is introduced by the entire City Council. On the roll call on first reading, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calangelo.
Abstain?
Councilmember Aaron Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
We've been working on this ordinance for a year and a half, I believe, and here my buddy Bob comes in here within 2 weeks to get this ordinance done. I mean, this is fantastic. This is the way I like to work. I vote aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
It's about time. I mean, we've been here for a year and a half, and it has been going on, and it's just tiring, so I vote aye.
Okay, we have 4 ayes, 1 abstention. The ordinance passes on introduction. I just want to make a correction, a statement I made. I said it was signed by the entire city council. I counted 5 signatures. The mayor signed it twice, so Councilmember Calangelo did not sign the ordinance. I just...
Did he sign Frank Calangelo?
No.
That's how excited I was. That this is finally over.
And that concludes our written items for voting at this time, Mr. Mayor, members of the city council.
All right, I'm gonna open it up to residents and taxpayers. Who would like to come on up?
Mike Dennis, Strand 104, Palisade Ave, Garfield, First Ward. Some of us want to know, what is this, the last ordinance we're asking about the permitting the use of B1 districts? What's that all about again?
Tom, Bob, would you like to explain that, please?
So, you might have heard the discussion going about stationary food trucks not on public roadways, and this just enables them to be in the B1 zone, provided they comply with the rest of the ordinance that we adopted.
Where is the B1 zone?
B1 zone is...
It's in various locations.
Yeah, but it incorporates restaurants, so...
Okay. All right, I have other questions also. On your amendment of Chapter 164-2, as far as the garbage is concerned, the last storm we had on Wednesday, what do you call that? Thursday morning, I put out my garbage, and the garbage truck failed to show up. So most of the time when you call DPW, they tell you to leave it out, and they'll pick it up, you know, the following day or whatever. Friday came, they didn't pick it up either. So worried about, as far as putting your garbage out too early over the weekend, stuff like that, I withdrew my garbage. Now, what is the rule of thumb now if the garbage contractor fails to pick up? Are they going to be fined?
Mr. Denistran, they sent out a nixle that all garbage pickup was canceled for that day, for that storm. They sent out a nixle report, the police department sent out a nixle report saying all garbage pickup and recycle pickups were canceled that day.
It was canceled.
Yes.
How was everybody notified?
Through nixle. It was online as well, I assume it was online.
Yeah.
But I know through nixle, I received it.
Yeah, but they didn't come Friday either, is what I'm saying.
Well, then it comes back to you next day. I don't know how the garbage
They never
pickup is.
showed up on Friday. So I withdrew my garbage and stuff like that, so I wouldn't get penalized over the weekend.
No, you didn't get penalized.
So what's going to be the rule of thumb if people leave their garbage out over the weekend, is what I'm trying to say? They're going to be fined, or, you know, if they didn't pick it up?
We can't answer that right now. I
Are
wouldn't
you
know.
supposed to withdraw your garbage?
I would withdraw.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would withdraw.
Well, I was afraid I withdrew my garbage because you're hammering everybody as far as garbage is concerned. You hit like 216 people in 2 months last year, last year, yeah, right, between August and September.
The nixle did say, I don't want to interrupt, it said garbage collection has been canceled for tomorrow, recycling collection will take place. So for future references, I think we should have them include what to do.
Next time, pick up.
Well, a lot of people are afraid to leave it out now, even at night, because they're putting their garbage out early in the morning.
Well,
Because
it's
a lot of
always
people
been.
got hammered, including myself, with this violation, and I was only an hour and a couple minutes early when I did it, because I was I had to go somewhere for a birthday party for grandchildren and whatnot. So, but what I'm saying is, if it happens again over the weekend, are people gonna get hammered with a ticket, you know, like they did, so.
If I could interrupt, yes, we should hammer them, because people leave their garbage out. I think you're attending so many of these meetings where we're getting hammered for not doing enough to supply containers for garbage, which I think is an absolute waste of money. And I'd love to show you, as you come to some of our meetings, I'd love to show you what my neighbors do with their garbage, and they pile it higher than you stand tall. There are pigs out there who don't love Garfield. That's the problem. We get caught up with them. So what happens is a good person like you gets a ticket for violation, but trust me, down the block, there's a person that is drawing so much attention to the situation because he's such an uncaring person, and his love for the city is absolutely non-existent. That's why we're dealing with this. We've been dealing with this, but it seems to be such a hot issue lately. I don't know if we have more people that just have poor health codes. We have people complaining they don't want to keep their garbage in their house because it's a health hazard, which is ludicrous. We have people on Monroe Street have left their garbage pails out for weeks and months at a time, and we permit it. It's absolutely reprehensible. Why they do it, I don't know, but why we permit one person to leave their garbage out and another person to get a ticket on that score, I think that maybe we need to do better in monitoring, but without question, people don't care.
I agree with you there, but I'm talking about a storm situation.
There's no such exception.
Yeah, so,
A storm is worse.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, what people do is they'll drag their pail out, the storm will knock it over, now it becomes everyone's garbage in the neighborhood, and they don't think that they have to go pick it up.
Yeah.
I mean, I walk from my house to the school every morning, which is on my corner. My grandchildren and I pick up a lot of garbage, but we're afraid to pick up all the dog poop. So we don't. But don't dog owners know that? I mean, well, we gotta put up a sign that says, please pick up your poop? I mean, this is just getting too much when we talk about garbage. I think that the Clean Committee, the Greens team did a great job in putting together paperwork, no disrespect whatsoever. I don't think people are gonna read it, nor are they gonna follow it. And I make you a bet, I'll bet you 50 cents. We'll see it out on the street blowing with the garbage.
well, another issue I have too is with the recyclables. I've seen right in front of my house where the neighbor had the garbage a little bit over the top.
But can I ask one question, Mayor, and this is the thing that I'm having a problem with.
The neighbor-
I think this is a valuable issue
Yeah.
for a private discussion, but
Right.
to take all of our professionals at $1 million a night to sit here and talk about garbage, that's something we really need to talk at the Green
I have to
Committee.
agree. I have to agree.
Okay. Like I said, I saw an issue where the neighbor piled it up a little bit too high on the recyclable can because it's too small. And the contractor came to pick it up and knocked some of it over and didn't pick it up. I wasn't happy with that. So, where it was the contractor's fault and that started blowing down the street. So it wasn't the neighbor per se, it was the size of the garbage can was too small.
That's my corner.
Jesus Christ.
That looks like furniture too and everything, yeah.
Yeah, that's my corner.
Right, right,
Did you take care?
yeah. Well,
We bought them a pail to use it?
yeah, well, that's regular garbage too there. So, another issue, I gave you, Mr. Dutch, I gave you two numbers to the polls in Garfield last time I was here. DPW, Sam Garofalo took the message about the poles being fixed.
Yes, the very next day.
He fixed one and not the other.
Yeah, the very next day, Mr. Garofalo notified the utility
Yeah.
company, so.
Well, there's a pole number 2862. That's on the corner of Hepworth and Palisade. It's on the school side, right where the crossing guard stands in the morning.
2862, I'm sorry, what corner, sir?
Corner of Hepworth and Palisade. Crossing guard stands.
Is that the one you reported last time?
Yes.
Right, as I
That
said,
was a long
the
number.
very next day, Mr. Garofalo received an email. He responded within a couple of hours and indicated that both were immediately reported to PSC&G.
Well-
They have other things happening, sir. Right
Well, they
now,
fixed the
it's a
one
rough
pole.
time. So, but I will send that to Mr. Garofalo again tomorrow.
That basically shines on the school down Hepworth Street there.
Yeah, I'll let him know, but I'm sure you're well aware that PSC&G has had a brutal week, so.
Yeah,
But I will let him know, again.
Yeah. Well, this guy's probably just changing light bulbs, so whatever, or sensors on the pole. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a-
Is there anyone else who would like to come on up?
Mayor, before we leave
Yeah.
the mic, we have to thank you publicly because the police department went out and put up those two safety signs that you brought to our attention. Now, that was a good one.
Yeah, well, somebody might trip over that.
Thank you.
Oh, no, you brought it up, they fixed it, Mike Marsh sent us a report.
Yeah.
I thank you,
Thank you.
Oh, thank
Is there anyone else who would like to come on up? I do not see any hands. We're going to close it. Open it up to council comments.
I thought my garbage issue was something that was, I'd like to circulate this.
Sure.
This was the corner of Harrison and Clark. But, I mean, we get accused of a lot, Mayor. This is not generated by anyone in this room, and I know it's appalled by everyone. It really is. I don't know how to stop people from being pigs, but they really don't love our town, and they don't care. To all of those that got up on the ordinances and those that question us, it's good that you question us. It's good that we are questioned. But the fact of the matter is there are certain solutions that are just not generated by the law. If there was, there would probably be a lot more people alive today and not destroyed and killed by bad people in this world, because we have a law against that, and the bad people just ignore it. and the dirty people do too. For those that are not going to be here at the next meeting, I wish you a blessed Easter. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Calandrello.
Yes, Tom, I sent you 2 emails. I'm still waiting for responses.
It's in your package.
Package I got tonight?
Yeah,
Okay, all right, I appreciate that.
no problem.
And basically, my question was about the conversions. I want to know what properties that we have put new water lines on for conversions. But one thing that has come to my attention is the resolution that was passed. And in the resolution, it talks about, this is on 203 Midland Avenue, emergency water service installations. And maybe I'm missing something. How do we deem that as an emergency? To have it where we couldn't have gotten other quotes or...
I didn't prepare the resolution, so I would
Yeah,
defer. I don't know what the resolution says.
because if it's an emergency appropriation, right, basically, we don't have to go out for quotes. We just deem it as an emergency and we just...
I can tell you that typically when I'm asked to bring in a contractor, the normal process for that is an emergency process. And that may or may not involve getting multiple quotes. It depends on what the quotes, how much they come in at. So I'd have to look at the specifics of that particular...
I would like to know that, Kevin, please.
Okay,
because-
but it's,
Because,
okay.
this was an unoccupied house. And look, you know my position?
I'm not categorizing that it was an emergency in that context. I'm categorizing that the process by which we secure the contractor, and I'm not trying to debate it. I'll get you all the
Well, since
information.
it's now, look, if it was paid by the contractor, I don't care. But it's paid by the city, and $12,300 when we had an indemnity agreement saying that the contractor would pay if there were any problems, then it becomes my concern. So I would like to have some answers on that. And Tom, I didn't have a chance to go through the packet. We had a very busy work session, my budgets are big. And getting to the budget, one last comment. We talk about the redevelopment and how it has helped the city, and we're still getting the help going forward. But all the help that we were talking about was redevelopment without eminent domain. That's the properties that we're referring to as bringing on new ratables, so that was without eminent domain. So I just want that clear on the record, and it's good to hear that the city is financially strong, and the city has been financially strong, and going forward, we have some good years. We're in a economy that is thriving, and I think it's only going to get better going forward. So with that, I also would like to wish everyone a happy Easter, and thank you for listening.
Councilwoman Delaney, I was daydreaming.
Thank you. Thanks. Yes, at the last council meeting and at many other previous council meetings, we've had some residents question and request more garbage cans in certain areas of the town, and I have countlessly stated that it was something the Green Team was working on and looking into. So I hope that I received the last report today about where we have those current garbage cans throughout town. I sent it to our engineer this morning, and he already generated the GIS map for me, so I want to thank him for responding so quickly, and it's the perfect timing because we do have a Green Team meeting this Thursday, so I will go over that. That will be one of our main priorities on the agenda, and hopefully have some recommendations for the DPW department. Also with the Green Team, as Mr. Loya mentioned, we completely revamped our recycling mailer that gets sent out every year, so be on the lookout for that eventually down the road. Being that we are a Green Team, I would like to see that done paperless, maybe just posted on our city website, and that's pretty much it. If anyone wants to come to our Green Team meeting on Thursday, it will be held at 4 o'clock at the Health Department. And also some upcoming events. We have the Roger Heddle Memorial Scholarship Dinner this Friday. Next Friday, the 23rd, our Senator Nellie Poe is honoring 2 women from Garfield for her annual Women's History Month event. So I would like to congratulate them in advance. It's Miss Annie Siaka and Sugar Banch from the Boys and Girls Club. So I just wanted to give them a shout out. We have our egg hunt on March 24th at 10 a.m., which will also be great. That's being held through our rec department. And just a lot of good things going on in Garfield. Again, I want to thank everyone on the finance team. We have some great grants. I know we passed one on fire prevention tonight. We applied for a few with Sustainable New Jersey, the elevator grant, our tree planting. We had a presentation this evening by the Center for Alcohol and Drug Resources. 5 years ago, they applied and received a grant, the Drug-Free Communities Grant, on behalf of the city of Garfield, so they're looking to reapply for years 6 through 10. So hopefully we'll get that. And with that being said, happy St. Patrick's Day, and if I don't see you, happy Easter. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, first and foremost, the most important thing we did tonight was introduce the budget that we did, and it just shows you how stable right now the city of Garfield is. I mean, you read in the paper, I believe it was Inglewood is having humongous problems. Patterson is borrowing money left and right. But here we are, the city of Garfield. All right, we have a surplus. We're spending more money on projects in town. We're doing all these positive things, and we come in with a good budget like that. That's the most important thing that could be said throughout the whole meeting. And it's wonderful. I think it's great, and just shows you how good the city of Garfield is. With the golf group, Tom, I'd definitely like a letter sent tomorrow to them, because they are posting on the golf Facebook page certain things that does not represent the city, and if we are supporting them through tax dollars, I think we definitely have to look into that. That's a big concern of mine. I'd like a letter sent to them tomorrow, whoever it may be. It was said that we did redevelopment without eminent domain. That is the farthest thing from the truth. Eminent domain has been part of redevelopment from day one. Day one, redevelopment was introduced here in the city of Garfield. Eminent domain was part. It was only within the past few years, when the law was changed, that we had to put it into the resolution. Am I correct with that, Tom? We were told by Frank Reagan, the attorney, where eminent domain was always part of redevelopment.
The city had the power to use it.
Yeah, but we never,
I understand.
but we had to put it into a resolution just recently. This is what I was told by our redevelopment
Yes.
attorney.
What he said.
And also, we use redevelopment on River Drive, haven't we?
We used eminent domain on River Drive for the Riverfront Park project. As always, eminent domain is a last resort. We had 4 property owners there that were resistant. We were able to negotiate a resolution with 3 of those property owners, and we went to court only with 1. Now, we did file in 2 other instances, but after filing, we were able to sit with the property owners and reach a resolution.
Excuse me, Frank.
Without that use of eminent domain, we would not have been able to build the Riverfront Park. One of the most prominent people involved was Mr. Franchini, who spoke at one of the planning board meetings and said that he was a survivor of eminent domain and that it was not a bad thing. So that was his testimony one night at the planning board meeting. The other case that unfortunately did proceed to trial was the case with the Wallace family. They owned the Waterfalls property, and we could not have had that view of the waterfalls had we not gotten that parcel of property. The mayor and council were good enough to allow me at that time to reprogram money, and I was able to take money from development and ask Green Acres to move that, and Bergen County Open Space, to move that money over to acquisition. So we were able to do that. They were very supportive of the project, and Green Acres remains very supportive today as well. So the $1 million that the school board would have gotten with the mayor and council's authorization, the request was made so that we would not lose the $1 million. The request was made to apply it to Phase 2.
Thanks, Sam, but what I am saying is, when redevelopment was first issued in the city of Garfield, I believe Mr. Calendro was the mayor when it did happen, eminent domain was part of redevelopment from the get-go. And that's what I was told, I believe that. So, with that, I'd just like to say a happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. Everyone knows that St. Patrick, he chased the snakes out of Ireland, so maybe if he's looking for an animal control officer job, we could bring him into Garfield. You know, also, the high school tomorrow at 10 a.m. is having a walkout with regards to the shootings in Florida, and the fact that our White House, our president, hasn't really done anything since that. And I support that walk, and I'll be there walking with them tomorrow. You know, there's no reason in the world why anyone should own an A15, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, the assault rifle.
An assault rifle. There's no reason why anybody should own that. And still, to us, just to turn a blind eye to that. We talk about it for 2-3 weeks, then all of a sudden it just goes away. It doesn't, and it shouldn't. And that's why I give these students so much credit. It's their young voices that's the future of our country, and the future of our city in Garfield here, too. It's the young people who's coming up with great ideas, who's moving our city forward. You know, so I applaud the students tomorrow for the walkout, and I'll be there supporting them. And with that, happy St. Patty's Day.
Mayor, you're the principal of the school, and my grandson may be attending. If he walks out of that school, you have my permission to kick him in the ass. I bring him to school, to go to school, to learn how to become the President of the United States, not to walk out just because he wants to be an activist. I want him to go to school. I walk them every morning to school. I walk them, make sure they're safe. I put them to the door. I want them to stay in there, and I pick them out at the end of the day. Mr. Principal, the problem is, bring the nuns back. The nuns would straighten these people right out 1, 2, 3.
Okay, let me go.
Mayor, make sure my kids stay in school.
I'm gonna get my comments in.
Mayor, can I just give 1 second?
This isn't a free-for-all.
Just for clarification of the record.
Think about this for a minute.
For clarification of the
Get my
record, Mayor.
comments in. No one else is.
Cut them off.
For clarification of the record.
So, first, Councilman, lawyer, the middle school's not walking out. We do not walk out. Our students are doing a What's Your 17. They're honoring what happened in Parkland. At 10 a.m., we will do something where it's a video, where the students are being interviewed on What's Your 17, and they come up with 17 reasons. It's something real good. I don't believe middle school students should be walking out of school at all, and this is what our student government came up with, and it's a great idea, and we'll send that video to anybody who would like to see, because, you know, we will send it down to Parkland, and, you know, it's something good. Now, that being said, first I want to give a shout out to our police department. There was a bomb scare at the high school a couple weeks back, and, you know, some fool, you know, wrote a note, dropped it down there, and the whole school got locked down for hours. But our police department, with the other resources and local police and, you know, the Bergen County, they went down there, it was a great exercise. You know, unfortunately, it was the real deal, but the way they handled it, and the way the students responded to it, it was great to see, and we set the message that we're not messing around, Garfield Police is not messing around, and the school district's not messing around. So shout out to them, and Chief Kovacs for doing a great job out there. You know, it's kind of a quick meeting, so, you know, we have a regular resident that comes in all the time, Judy Frazier. She fell ill this past week, I just found out. You know, I know she comes up here and she gives me a tongue lashing, and I'm in the position where, you know, they're allowed to, and I understand that, but, you know, I just wish her a speedy recovery. I'd like to see her back up here for it. Oh,
I second that.
Hats for Hope, Sunday, March 25th, 2018. The Honorable Aaron Delaney is being recognized for Hats for Hope. And it is at, where is it at here?
From Assemblyman Benjamin.
Oh, from Assembly Benjamin Wimbledon at the Brownstone. So congratulations. Deputy Mayor. Future Deputy Mayor. Or Mayor, all right. I wish everybody this Saturday, to get their Irish on, have a little drink, have a pint, feel good, stop thinking, start drinking. It is St. Patty's Day, but not too much, be responsible. You're adults. Happy Easter to everybody, and, I'm optimistic about Garfield. With that being said...
Mayor, 1 minute, 1 minute. All I want is 1 minute.
He says that all the time. I'm gonna give him his 1 minute, okay? 1 minute.
Just for the record,
30 seconds.
the riverbank was never declared an area in need of redevelopment. Plain and simple.
Thank you.
Check the records.
Thank you.
Motion. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, motion by Delaney, seconded by Delaney. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.